Welcome everyone, Jai Guru. We start with the prayers. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mother, hold our hand, take us across from unreal to real, from darkness of ignorance to wisdom of light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Jai Guru. Welcome everyone. We have this tremendous holy month going on. We got Ramadan going on. We just Lent going on. Today is the Lent finishing with a happy Easter Sunday. And we have various Hindu celebrations that are going on continuously. So during this time, and especially being an Easter Sunday, we thought we will touch upon the Easter Sunday, but primarily it is, notice what do you say? Happy Diwali. You say Happy Christmas. You say Merry Christmas. You say Happy Easter. You notice there is this, you say Happy Ramadan. So what is this happiness? So I thought of dealing with this word happiness today and touching upon with the various spiritual, religious festivities where we get onto it. To understanding that what exactly is happening. You'll be surprised to know, let's say, the data of Indian and other countries region is not that well available, but the Western world, 342 million Americans, you'll be amazed to hear 20% of those Americans are today suffering from mental sickness and degradation of happiness. And today is the time, if you look carefully, everything is available. Just of a press of a button, you get the water. 100 years ago, you had to walk for at least 5-6 kilometers with a handi on top of your head to get the water. Whatever you want, plentiness is available. Press of a button, order is delivered to your home. Whatever you like. And yet, why is this unhappiness? You look at it, whether it is narcotics today in many countries, particularly prominently known as the United States, the narcotics or marijuana, etc. is allowed openly. You can buy it from a shop and have it. Apparently, those are the ones supposed to give you sense gratification. So, with this line, we want you to start off with a little bit of the understanding of few of us are aware, few of us are not aware. It's the Holy Week of Christianity. The holy month which we went on, and this is the Holy Week. So you call it, it's called a Holy Week, also called a Great Week. So it started off from the Palm Sunday and goes on to say the Holy Monday, goes on to when the Lent started off, and then comes the Holy Tuesday, and it is a Holy Wednesday, and it goes ahead and gives you the Last Supper on Thursday, and the Good Friday when the Jesus Christ was crucified. And yet it is called Good Friday. Have you ever wondered why is it called Good Friday? The Good Friday. Good Friday is not just a morning time of Jesus Christ. It is He showed it to he showed it to the people of how to suffer, and yet for the sacrifice that he did for his own body and the mind, sacrificing to the health and for the people, for the happiness of the people. He took the misery, suffering from the rest of the people, and he went and got himself crucified. And then he rose again. And Easter Sunday, which is today, you'll be amazed to hear he started to walk. And he, along with Mother Mary, walked all the way to India. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. He came to India. He lived for 17 years. And these are all well documented in written book form, in website. If you go to the Google and Jesus lived in India, if you just Google it, Jesus Christ lived for 17 years, left his body in Srinagar. Lots of books are written on it. And you'll be amazed to hear, Film Division of India, FDII, is with a government stamp, as given, it's available on website today. You could go ahead and follow where Jesus came, what did he do, where all did he live, and why did he come to India. Now, with this, we are basically this Easter Sunday. What does it remind us? What is it supposed to be? It is supposed to be, and as it has been told by great spiritual leaders, the Easter Sunday reminds us to do what? Don't be ordinary. Don't just be a body and a name and a little form and a function, a gender, man or a woman. This is not real. Yes, we have all of them, but that's just not you. That's something else. And Vedanta, which is Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, and Upanishads, they are telling the same thing. In the Western world today, there is something called positive psychology. In positive psychology, they are trying to discover, this is just about a decade or so old, and trying to take on the message to the Americans that, look, you are not what you think you are. It's something else. And there is something called hard facts of consciousness. David Chalmers, I've shared with you all, Australian, New York, is the New York University, NYU. He is the head of the Mind Brain Consciousness Unit. He's talking about this consciousness, which we think, which is not known to the people. You think, how do you see me? How do you hear me? You will see with my five senses, with my eyes, with my ears. And the Vedanta is saying, no, not true. It is not with your senses. It is, your senses cannot work unless you are conscious. If you are unconscious, if you are in coma, you can't use your senses. So it is the consciousness alone, which is what Vedanta talks about, is Ishvara. Those of you who've been here traveling, we are talking about Taittiriya Upanishad. Say that is what is God. And you say God is everywhere. So where is God? Right now, you say here. If it is here, where is this God? Show it to me. Show me God in me. Show me God in this person. Show me God in this glass of water. It is very simple in understanding, in knowing through the Vedanta, and purify our life. So in this journey, that why is it people are suffering when everything is available? There is no shortage of money, there is no shortage of food, clothes, sensual pleasures, everything is available. Drugs, alcohol, smoking, everything is there. And yet people are suffering. Why? So let's say, Swami Vivekananda is telling us, do not be ordinary. After all, in this whole universe, there is only one me. And there is none other than that one me, which is a me. There's only one of me. And why am I then unhappy? Let's say a lady, a woman, plays so many roles. She's a girl, daughter to the father, mother. She's a student. She's a professional. She grows up, she becomes a professional worker, she becomes a partner, she becomes a mother, she becomes a wife, she becomes a friend. She becomes, just think about so many roles. And yet, person is only one. One person playing different kind of a role. And each one of the roles, they seem to be very good doing it and bringing what? Harmony. Freud, Bertrand Russell, they're saying that, generally people tend to in the Western world call that the female, women folk are the weaker sex. Not in India. In India, we worship the female as the Mother Shakti, as Mother Durga, as Mother Kali, as Mother Lakshmi, Saraswati. Everything that you want money, go to Mother Lakshmi. You want knowledge, you go to Mother Saraswati. So it is all the mothers who are ruling in India. But in the Western world, they call the weaker sex. But Freud and Russell, Bertrand Russell, they're talking, it is the stronger sex which is weaker to the weaker sex. That this understanding, how do we get along now? Now, today, my intention is to, the blissful teachings of the great master, pick up the gems from there and utilize it for our own life and understanding. Let's say the sparks within a cigarette lighter flint. You can't see it unless you strike it. Let's say when you strike it, sparks fly. Let's say matchbox. You can't see fire. All you have to do is strike it. When you strike it, it creates fire. So like that, you and I have to strike the power from within us. Strike doesn't mean thappad lagao. It means awaken, wake up. So what is Vivekananda saying? Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached within you. It's within you. Let's say, if we do not, Freud on religion is talking about that if we do not spiritualize our life, great philosopher Freud, we are on the losing end. We do not get that completeness, that fulfilled life. People today pray for, give me abundance, give me unboundedness, give me no shortage of money, enjoyment, fun, pleasure, etc. Give me, give me, give me. This is what people are saying. It is not give me, it is becoming. You and I, it is all within us. Only thing we have forgotten. Have you realized today, whatever you want in your life, let's say you want joy, you want happiness, you want abundance of, let's say, skill, let's say painting skill, playing cricket skill, or a cooking skill, or a writing, academic skill. Where is it? Do you get it from out there? We think we have to go to a good teacher, we have to go to a good college, good guru. Whereas Vedanta is saying, no, it is all within you. It's all inside of you. Now, all you have to do is get connected to that inside. In the Freud, what's they say? It is not to just ritualize our life, meaning get up, do until so-and-so time, do this and do that, ritualize and dogma. It is not just that. Even Freud, Western American, is saying, if you do that, you're on the losing end. But if you get connected to that completeness, fulfilled life, which is what? Within you. If you want feeling good, where is that goodness? It's within you. It is not out somebody else's to give you that fulfillment, that completeness. It's within you. So getting connected to that within is the journey of the humanity and to fulfill life. That happiness is being a human, excellent human perfection, attaining that. Got a bad cough, but it will become okay. Now, there is a freedom of choice, and there is not only freedom of choice, there is a moral obligation that whatever we do, we generally try to do selfishly whatever I wanted to earn money, it is for me and my family. I want to get some food, I go to the shop, market, buy it for this is me and my family. I want to buy a car, a house, it is for me and my family. But in Karma Yoga, it is ritualize your life in such a way that whatever you do, you first do it with purity, first do it with ethic, with honesty and truthfulness. You know, India, everybody knows the national flag, all of us grown-ups know. But we have forgotten about the national pillar. The national pillar is written, something is written on it from Mundaka Upanishad, Satyameva Jayate. That truth alone will make you win in your life, make you be complete, make you be happy. How many adults do you know or children who don't tell lies? So we have forgotten. Whereas in the whole world today, if we establish that Karma Yoga, is the establishing is that yoga. You know, it reminds me of a story Paramahamsa Ramakrishna used to tell to the disciple. He used to say, the camels, you know, they will not eat, let's say, banana or cauliflower or leaves. They will go to thorny bush. They call it in the desert babul tree. And it's got a big thorn. But inside the thorn, it has got some juice, which is, you and I don't know because we don't taste it, but the camel will eat only that. And imagine a camel's mouth, tongue is very tender. Now what it does, it goes and starts chewing on it, very little leaf and that thorn, they keep on chewing it and chewing it. And the thorn lacerates its whole gum, mouth, bleeding, making a mess of its mouth, but it will not give up. It will carry on eating only that. It knows it is going to create pain, but for that little juice inside, it is ready to do that. And there is an intense amount of research gone in. You know, dogs, you will find, dogs go and dig up, they put a bone under the ground and put soil, mitti on top of it. And they know where is his bone, honey. And they'll go and take out that bone. And then they start chewing on it. There is nothing in the bone. It's an old dead bone. There is no juice, no flesh, nothing at all. But we'll keep on chewing it, chewing it, chewing it. Now what happens is, sharp edges of the bone, it cuts its own mouth, own tongue, own gum. And the dog thinks bone is very juicy. Why? Because juice is coming from his own mouth. From his own mouth, bleeding, he is sucking that. And he is actually suffering away, but he is pretty happy. And this is what has happened to you and me. We know that if I do this, it is not going to be good for me. But I still go ahead and do it. So there is tremendous amount of research has gone into this. So the Sermon on the Mount, which is by Jesus Christ on, just a few days before his crucifixion, I thought all of you should know about it a little bit. He went and gave a very special sermon and very powerful sermon. The purpose of this sermon by Jesus Christ is not to teach people, is to make them realize heaven on earth. Generally the Vaticans, the Pope and all, they say Sermon on the Mount is meant for only very serious Christians who is going to be a preacher in the church, only for them. But it is truly, it's called the Mount of Beatitude. Beatitude is a special saying, special by the Jesus Christ, for the beatification, which is in the hill in the northern Israel. It's called the Chorazim Plateau. Just remember the name, it will be good for you. It is where Jesus is believed to have delivered the Sermon on the Mount. The purpose of the Sermon on the Mount is to create heaven on earth. And where is the heaven? It's not out there. Once you die, then you will go and reach heaven. Who's told you? My Guru has told you. Now, when you go die and you don't find heaven, You can't come back and catch your guru now. So this is the theistic language. But in the Vedantic language, it says, no, your heaven is right now here, right now, this moment. Create it within you and share it with everyone. This is what Jesus Christ's teaching also is talking about. The Sermon on the Mount by Jesus Christ talks about it. He took closest of his disciple. Paramahansa Ramakrishna also. He would take closest of his disciple, he'll close the door, and he would talk to them about his very special teaching. Now, there is Hans Combe, is a very Christian theologian. He teacher of the last Pope. He says purpose of this teaching, church says meant for chosen few monks, those who are going to be apostles. Tolstoy, a very famous writer, Tolstoy says it is meant for establishing the kingdom of heaven on earth. What is this meant for? Realizing God. You and I can realize. Where is God? It's shut up in the heaven. It's within everyone. It's within you. As for Vedanta, it is that consciousness. It is Chaitanya. It is Chaitana. It is Chit. What is? You hear the word Chit, Jada. What is Jada? Jada is your body. Jada is your mind. Jada is your mind. It is mind, brain. The moment you die, your body dies, you notice your body is separate. It is buried or it is burned. And people say he is dead. He is not dead. It is that body is dead. As per Vedanta, his mind, his intellect, his memory, and his ego, they make a balloon. Body is now lying down. Either will be buried or burnt, or maybe fed to the bird as per the Zoroastrian belief. Body is gone, but the mind, brain, etc. is not gone. Brain meaning not the body brain, but the memory, intellect part of it. They make a balloon, and now it is seeking, based on its past karma, as per Vedanta, the new mother, new father, where he will be taking birth, and again and again and again, till realizes oneness with God. It's going to be, this is called rebirth, of the concept of the rebirth. Now, I will touch upon a few of the teachings of the Jesus Christ before we go on to the happiness part of it. So, the first of it, he's saying, there are no first and second, but these are the ones which I'm talking to you about. He said, blessed are those, they are really blessed who are pure in heart. Those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. So our first journey is pure in God. There is a monk in Himalaya, very senior monk, Vedantist monk. Somebody goes from Delhi, businessman, lot of money, goes and gives some money to the ashram, and he said, Maharaj, give me samadhi dijiye. The Maharaj said, samadhi 2 minutes ke baat hai. In Hindi they are talking. I'll give you in 2 minutes time samadhi. But pehle saaf dil lekar aao. This body that we have, that should be pure. Bring purity with you first. If you come with a pure mind and pure heart, I'll give you samadhi straight away. That is the difficult part. It's to purify you and I. It's not to think of those dirty things, junk things all the time. Mind is being bombarded. So our journey today is through these processes, is to purify. What happened? All that is suffering is written all over you. So much of pain and suffering that we are doing today, that you are doing today. It's not necessary. It can be easily erased and waved off. And within weeks, maximum, totally beginner, 6 weeks time, you will see there is a difference. There's a smile on your face instead of a frown. So, there are many ways to fail in life, many ways to fail in life. But the Jesus' Sermon on the Mount is telling how to stand in life, how to be fruitful. This is the teaching which I told you that let's pick up some of the gems from there. Think about it, reflect on it. It doesn't mean you're going to be transformed in overnight, but at least the first step, 100 meters run, starts with the first step, isn't it? Now, in this plenitude of life, where everything is possible, there I'm going to touch upon it. By the way, the Jesus Christ, the Sermon on the Mount, is from Gospels of Mark, Luke, Matthew, and John. These are from the Bible that we are talking about. So the first, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Second, I'm going to just go through them, not delve like earlier I had done it in detail, but because our main topic is today how to find happiness, right? But this is the important part. Second, he's teaching, blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Mourn is cry, somebody who's crying. It is not crying for I don't have money, I don't have a partner, I don't have good health, I don't have a house, I don't have an iPhone 16. It is not that crying. It is those who cry for God, thinking of God and crying. And notice, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar, better throat, no? You keep taking it. When that finishes, and keep taking, keep sipping it, and Shardama will help you. Just watch. Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, Dakshineshwar, on the riverbed, Ganga, next to the temple, is rolling on the ground and crying with the stones cutting his cheek, rolling on the ground, actually rubbing his, onto that stone, onto the mud, and cutting his cheek, bleeding. And what's he crying for? Mother, one more day has gone, you have not shown yourself to me. And eventually, when it happened for days, then eventually he goes to the same statue. He takes the kadag, that same as kadag which you can see in the picture there, takes it from her hand and said, I'm going to cut my throat unless you show yourself to me. And it actually takes it and going to chop off when mother comes in and shows him. Meaning, this is the intensity of demand, of desire. When you get it, then only you get. And once you get this, what happens is, Sarvam Kama, everything that you want in your life will come to you. And we are chasing, going up to Australia, America, Canada, for what? Good life. That good life is within you. Now, so belief, the characteristics of religion is the belief in something which should transcend. Transcend meaning it should become reality in your life, in your current day-to-day life. Once you start to do that, you will see, generally people say, first you give me, then I'll give you. First you love me, then I'll love you. And mostly in a relationship, marriage, friendship, partner, business, wherever, you say first you give me, then I'll give you. You want first. And it is what? In relationship today, including mother to the child, is what? Mother wants the child to be successful, but the child to follow what mother is saying. And mother, father feels very happy if the child becomes just like mother and the father. And if grandma says, Teri par gaya hai, you feel very happy. Really, mother? You feel very happy. Why do you want to create one more like you? So what do you try to do? Create 100% a copy of you. So in a relationship, if it is 100% you want somebody to be like you or to follow your thing, it will never bring happiness. It can be, instead of 50-50, 51-49, okay? At least if your word, some of it is going on 51%, you should be very happy that at least things are happening the way I like it. So, that believing in something is called the mourning that we are talking about. Third one, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. They shall inherit the earth. Blessed are the meek. Meek is what? Meek is the one who's docile, who's saying, okay, you and I teach our children and students to be strong, go and fight out your case, fight for it, otherwise you won't give it. You think the boss is going to come running to give it to you, you think God will give it. You have to first work. We're teaching them how to be different, to be aggressive. But Jesus Christ saying, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So what does it mean? Instead of saying, this is me, this is mine, this is mine, this is not yours, instead of saying, meek is saying, it is yours. The two desert fathers, they are living in the desert, Christian. And they have devoted their life for the Christianity and for Jesus Christ. So they say, let's fight like the common people there fight with each other. Let's see what does it taste like. So two fathers, they call it desert father. So one father said, he takes a brick and he said, brother, this brick is mine. So the other brother said, sure, it is yours, take it. This is the difference. This is what it means. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And problem with the rat race, we shouldn't realize. We said we want to walk, we want to work tight, we want to work hard, we have to get the money, we should get the top position. The famous philosopher said, problem with the rat race, you might win at the end of the rat race, but you still remain a rat. Do you want to remain a rat? Okay. Now, there is a beautiful statement is given in Isha Upanishad. He says, Magrita Kayas Vedananam, which means that it is saying, don't greed for wealth. After all, whose is wealth? Two brothers are fighting for a land. Father is no more. So now they say, okay, this is the line which we draw. That side is yours, this side is mine. And God is laughing as per the statement. Whose land is it? That you say that is yours and this is mine. So we're, fighting, quarreling, not talking to each other, living in the same house. So saying, whose is wealth? That's for the issue of Upanishad. Now, Upanishad is asking us not to hanker for other people's wealth. Whose is wealth? Everything is other people. It is not yours. So automatically when you bring that detachment from within you, you look at it carefully, look at the application, look at the monks. Let's say Tirupati, let's say Sai Baba, Puttapati Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba, or let's say Ramakrishna Mission. Have you noticed? They have no shortage. They have abundance. We just went to Shirdi Sai Baba and it was amazing. Literally more than 1.5 to 2 million people there. And everybody is giving. To who? Sai Baba is not coming and saying they do. Everybody is giving money, giving gold, giving diamond, giving thing, writing it down. Somebody saying, I'll make this part of the temple for Sai Baba. Amazing. So, generally, a beautiful statement as per the Isha Upanishad, supposing I hold on to something and I say this is mine. Have you noticed, until and unless you learn how to release it, that is not stuck to you. A very famous story, Ramakrishna used to say, flood water through the villages, and villages are standing and watching a village before this village is less affected, but they can see the river flowing by and carrying all the, which has been flooded through the river going on to the other side. And they see a beautiful blanket. So one guy says, oh, what a lovely blanket floating by. Let me go and catch it. Others say, don't go. This is a very strong current. He said, no, I'm a very good swimmer, no problem. He goes, he grabs the blanket and realizes it's not a blanket, it's a bear. It's a bear, live bear, which is being flooded. And the bear, what does it do? It does a bear hug now. And this guy is trying to let go. Villagers from the shore is saying, let go the rug, otherwise you will get drowned. He said, I have let go on the rug, but the rug is not letting me go. This is what happened. You get into the bad habit will get you now. The interpretation are twofold. That whose is the wealth is the first. So don't try to grab it. Remember the story what I just shared with you. That once you grab addiction, money, relationship, whatever it is, including children, partner, whatever, house, property, it is also going to get hold of you. And second interpretation of that is that there is no wealth on this universe which is yours. It is a mirage. It appears to be yours. It is like that snake and the rope. On a dirty mandir alley, you are going down, trying to avoid things because there is water and all, and you find suddenly a snake. And you say, my God, snake! And your friend says, wait. Your husband, your wife says, switches on the mobile light and says, no, it's just a dried up garland or maybe a rope lying on this thing. So it appears to be so. That wealth appears to be yours. It is not yours. And the beauty is, when you let go, the wealth comes to you. That's the beauty. You say, first let it come, then I will let go. No, it doesn't happen like that. So understanding. Now, how much of it is maintaining actually this understanding consciously ours? That is holding on to this, that I am not wanting to hold on. Something is, you say, is doing it. What is doing it? It's the nature is doing it. Now you blame the nature, blame the God. Why has God made me like that? No, it is not like that. Now, the next sermon. Blessed are the who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Sermon on the Mount, Jesus Christ, such beautiful statement. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. What is correct, that only I will do. It is not because otherwise I'll be punished or somebody will say, why haven't you done it? No, it is, I will not do it unless it is correct. For they shall be filled, meaning whatever they have, if you do the right thing, right things will happen. Suppose you go into, say you're walking down, you see something which is lying, it is not supposed to be, a dirty paper. You pick it up and put it into the right place. You come down, and generally we tend to take off our clothes, we fling it, chappals, we just throwing it off. No, you put it properly to where it is supposed to be. You'll be surprised, the nature, which is God, which is Mother, will make sure that your world is always clean and tidy, provided you keep this nature, this earth clean and tidy. When you do that, things will happen. When you take care of somebody else and give them the food, the hunger, satisfied of someone else, you do that. When you do that, you will find that you will never be hungry. Your hunger will always be. Somebody will come and say, please.
Then, sir, why do we blame God all the time?
Why are you blaming the God?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? It's because you always want to find out the fault is not yours, fault is out there. And who is out there now? Either it is husband, wife, children, friend, you, maidservant, and very good thing is God. You are very bad. So, where is God?
Out there.
No, it is not out there. It is within you. So who is God? Aham Brahmasmi, main hi Brahma hu. So who are you blaming? You're blaming yourself. So this is the understanding from this teaching, So there is a disciple who goes to a guru and says, Guru, I have been serving you for now 1 year. I have not seen God at the end. When will I see God? Guru said, okay, I'll show you tomorrow. The next day, in the morning ritual, they go for a river bath in Ganga. They go and taking dips. He's supposed to do Surya Namaskar and dip. So as the disciple dips down, Guru holds his hand down there and not letting him come up. Thank you, Rajendra. So he is not letting him come up, and the disciple is fighting to come up to breathe. Guru holds on to it and he lets him go at the last minute. He comes up and he's Guru said, how did you feel? He said, I felt I'm going to die. He said, when you feel for God like that, you will see God. So this is the desire for God, striving for God, and these are the messages. What is the next message of Jesus Christ? Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Those who give mercy to others, they will receive mercy automatically. This is the nature's law, God's law, or humanity, you can say. The first stage in the spiritual life is honesty, is being truthful. Satyameva jayate. Truth alone will win people. And he's saying we don't have to be honest to everybody else, but at least we can be honest to ourselves. Can we be truthful? Can we say, I cannot do that. I will not jump the traffic light. I will pay tax on time. Whatever the social requirement is. So, first thing, we need to show mercy, show kindness, and not because if I do that, then I will get mercy. No, without expectation, which is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is, so bring that holiness into your karma that you're doing, it becomes Karma Yogi. Now, you shall obtain mercy from the Lord Himself when you learn to forgive, when you know that what you promise to the others, you make your effort to fulfill it, what you have spoken. If you told your sons and daughters, I'll give you iPhone 15, you better make sure, if you, either you say it, don't say it, and if you say it, you should give it. Otherwise, you are defaulting in your promises. So, a monk in the Himalaya, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Remember, first statement I talked about, a monk in the Himalaya said, you come with purity in heart, I'll give you samadhi. Samadhi is not difficult, but the purity attainment. Next, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Have you noticed how powerful statement by Jesus Christ? He gave it to his disciples. And this is what it means, that Sermon on the Mount is to make this earth the heaven, your world a heaven, if you follow them. So you feel peace. The first sign of the truly spiritual person, you will see peace in their face. You will feel calmness. You will find a serenity. You will find a smile. You will find joy, even at the difficult time, even in the most trying time. But they got a smile on the face. They say trying time, body is paining, but I'm not in pain. Paramahansa Ramakrishna, 3 days to go, dying out of cancer. So, Hari Maharaj, a disciple then, who was a brahmachari, not even a monk, he comes down and he says in Bengali, Thakur, kemon acho? How are you feeling? Thakur said, my throat is paining. He had a big cancerous growth in his throat, which he took it, the other people's evil thing into himself and freed them from their, whatever the wrong thing they had done. So which came into his throat as a cancer is what is known and believed by all devotees, including me. Now, as Hari Maharaj asked him, how are you feeling today? The doctor said, I can't eat, can't swallow anything. And he couldn't even drink water. Water is to trickle out of it. It was so bad. Hari Maharaj says, just imagine, 3 days before his death, He said, but you are looking, you're in bliss, you're in happiness, you're in joy. And instead of getting angry, people like you and me will get angry. He said, what do you mean by joy? You don't know what pain I'm passing through. Something like that you and I will say. Paramahansa Ramakrishna smiles in whatever way that throat condition, and he says in Bengali, Shala dhore pileche. Rascal has caught me. He is understood. That means what? His body is suffering. But he is not suffering. He is who? He is that. Kini.
Yeah.
Who's he?
He is that.
Who's that?
That is me.
Who's that?
That is
Who's that me?
Me is inside me.
Who's that?
Um,
Is that God within?
Within.
Which you're saying why you blame God?
Yeah.
So this is that God which is within, which he is talking about. So you will find even in the troubled time. Next Sermon on the Mount. Blessed is the one who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for there is the kingdom of heaven. When they sacrifice their life for the right things, then they will find living in heaven. So notice today they find a study in the worldwide today, particularly in the Western world. Those people who got abundance, no shortage of money, billionaire, and they're trying to get more billion and bigger than the other billionaire. Journey is still. And there is a guy who got just meager bread. And I told you the other day a story about 99 gold. Remember that story? That king is saying, I don't have the peace and happiness of this farmer with his wife, which he got nothing. Little bit of bread and vegetable, that's all he gets. He got nothing else, but he is so happy, joyful. The minister said, sir, that's the story of 99 gold. He said, what is 99 gold? So he takes from king, he said, I'll show it to you. Takes a bag of gold, 99, and quietly leaves it in front of the farmer's house. Farmer in the morning wakes up, opens the door and finds gold, 99. He didn't know 99. He takes it and he puts it on the ground and starts counting. He said, 99? How can it be? Let me count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 99. Wife said, you've forgotten how to count or what? Let me count it. Wife also counts it, 99. The husband says, now I have to make it 100. Story of 99. And he starts working. All the joy and the laughter is gone. Now it is racing for money, money, money. Wife says, what a nut are you? You got so much of gold money. Come on, spend at least 2 gold. Let's go and have some good time. Husband, no. First let me make it 100. Then we will do it. And he's working away. Now, one day wife takes 2 gold coins and goes and does quietly shopping. And comes back. And husband comes back evening and he says, see, I bought this special 2 shirts for you. He says, where did you get the money from? He says, why? You're a nut. You're not spending that money. I went and spent 2 gold coins. He said, what? You spent 2 gold coins? They start quarreling. And they're fighting, not talking to each other. And king and the minister come. King tells the minister, what happened to their happiness, joy, which I saw them? So happy. This is the story of 99 gold. So when you are racing for things, you're suffering and your spirituality goes away. Joy is within. It is not that money. So this is what is the message. Ramakrishna showed the same message to the. Now we will get on to it. I gave you the Sermon on the Mount just for you to understand. It is in the Karakoram, on the desert island in the mountain, where he presented to all his 12 disciples. Now we will talk about the science of happiness. In the science of happiness, today you will be surprised to see that I told you 10% of the people in the world are suffering from mental illness. Right? Mental illness. Why? Because they're just not happy. They have everything, and yet they just, what they want is the happiness. Where is the happiness eluding? So this is what we are going to talk about. That we are living in actually a strange time. And in this time, we are living in an age of instant gratification, as it is by the world's Westerners, psychologists, etc. Instant gratification. Whatever you want, you can get it instantly, like that. All you have to do, just ask for it. Press the button, pay the money, swipe the credit card. Everything is there, ready. And yet, you're suffering. Why is it? So this is the study that we wanted to do. Modern technologies, social media, internet, that sweet cake or the chocolate pie or whatever you want, you can just get it instantly. And yet, remember 1880s, 90s, some of you will remember. I remember 50s, 1950, 1960. Most of your parents were also not born. At that time, we didn't even have a radio. And much later, radio came. I was around 11, 12 years of age when the first radio came. And I remember it was so big. And people would put it onto their shoulder and walk on the walking mall and loudly playing Vivid Bharati. And there is to be 50, 60 people walking behind him listening to Vivid Bharati. It was such a great thing. Then came Murphy Richard televisions, black and white. Today, crying baby, mother's pastime is give him the mobile. And baby is now getting stuck to the mobile. And then, if you take away the mobile, baby will not eat. And be surprised, similar research is going on today. Today, if you had to work very hard, prepare a good career, good character, and the girls have to look very beautiful and well knowledgeable and good in various skills, then only you get a right partner. Today, in the Western world, you got, they call it Tindies. In India, it's called Shadi.com. You just click it and put the message, and you will have 10 people applying for getting married to you. So, whether it is dating site or anything, offering endless options, whether TV shows, new episodes. So, it is in the Western world, this presents a paradox, a shift of the paradigm, creating a paradox. It's a joke, it's a caricature called the paradox. We think it is so, but it is not so. Despite having unlimited access to whatever we want, whenever we want it, we have never been more miserable in life than the current time. Earlier time, farmers, little plot of land, one cow, and Bengali Baba, great monk from the Himalaya. And when the winter time, they would walk down from the very frozen Tapovan area. Tapovan is north of Gangotri Gomukhi. Totally frozen throughout the year. So they would come down from there during the winter time and walk towards the plain and generally make a round of India right up to Cape Comorin. I met somebody like that. He was 118 years of age. Small, skinny, hair was, jata was right up to the floor. He himself was not very tall. He must have been 4 feet 10 inches or so, less than 5 feet. And somehow he came and he was, one of the neighbor saw him and he liked him and he said, "You stay with me forever." They've been Pune. And this gentleman got a message to call me. He came and said, "Sir, that monk has come, he's calling you." I said, "Me? How do they know about me?" He said, "I don't know." I go down there, I said, "How do you know me?" He said, "I know you." And he was there about 15 days. I used to go down and meet him every day after my work and talk to him. So one day he says, tomorrow I'm going. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Kanyakumari. I said, Kanyakumari, how will you go? Is somebody taking you by train, by plane? He said, no, I'm going to walk down. I said, what? You'll walk down? He said, yes, I've come walking down from Himalaya. I'll walk to Kanyakumari and then I met such a person. He was skinny. Legs and arms were all bones. But look at the energy. And 118 years of age, he was that time. I asked him, what's your age, sir? He said 118. And he looked. Everything was shrunken totally. But a tremendous life, energy. And this is, I'm talking about that today, whatever you want, never in the history of the humanity is so easily available. Earlier, if you saw one episode, let's say when the TV came on, next episode after 7 days.
Yes.
Now you can continue to watch and repeat watch and repeat watch. There is no shortage of your gratification and yet you're unhappy. So the paradox of the instant gratification is the Western world calling it today, in which we should be happier than before because everything is available. But what is available is sense gratification, gratification of the five senses, which is not the happiness, but we think it is, and because of which we are miserable. So this is what is the science of happiness. Today in the Western world, they come out with positive psychology. In the positive psychology, I'm going to refer to one or two books. It's a nascent field, and nascent field meaning it's a new area. It's about a decade or so now. And the psychologists, like I'm going to refer to Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman, he came out with positive psychology offering an insight why we are unhappy and how we can truly achieve genuine happiness in life. All of us want that. And I'm going to refer to Vedanta Upanishad and Brahma Sutra, which has brought in that, notice, in India, people living with so little and yet very happy and contented, and in the Western world. Today, India has also become like that, the Western world now, today. A race is on with everybody. What the neighbor has, I must. Now, most valuable resource today is what we are doing is Vedanta, understanding that Vedanta. That joy, that happiness is not out there, it's within us. Now, today, time permitting, we will touch upon a little bit about the positive psychology and we talk about the Bhagavad Gita. Now, one hand you will find that Bhagavad Gita has anticipated some key insight to the Western psychology, what they talked about. On the other hand, Western positive psychology and sophisticated scientific studies are telling us that the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita mutually illuminating and supporting each other. In other words, what does it mean? It means that whatever you find in the Western psychology, Western philosophy, it is not complete. It needs to be supported by Vedanta, which is Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra and Upanishad. The teachings of that can bring in. And the Western scientists and philosophers are realizing it today. Mark Twain, a very famous, all of you know about him. He said, he came and lived about 3 months in India. He said, if there has been anything ever created on earth, either by man or a god, it is in India. Meaning such a strong statement. And like that, so many of them. Positive psychology must have the input of the understanding of the Vedanta and of our Bhagavad. The Vedanta, which means those three things which I told you about. You and I need to know about it. See, we know national flag, but we don't know what is written in the Ashok Stamba. We forgetting our basic mother. Our mother is Bharat. we're forgetting that. So this missing gap, the science of happiness, can be filled by Vedanta. Now, there are different books are written by the Western authors. So Martin Seligman, he's written a book in 2002 called Authentic Happiness, in which he's talking about, Seligman distinguishes that all human beings, particularly he's talking to the reference of the Western world, but he's saying all human beings has got three phases. First one is called pleasant life. There are three paradigms, pleasant life, or three phases, whatever you call. Second is called good life, and third is called meaningful life. There are three stages. So what is pleasant life? Pleasant life is nothing else but dealing with pleasures. Whatever I want, must have it now, right now. And if you recollect, ancient time Vedanta, Charvaka used to be one Vedantist who used to have this Charvaka theory, that you can steal, rob, kill, whatever you like, you've got only one life, you don't have to worry about prison or jail, or you can go ahead and enjoy. Meaning, do whatever you like. There was Charvaka's theory. This is like that theory he's talking about. Now, the ambitious undertaking in the happiness of the authentic happiness, Martin Luther, he is talking about that pleasant life is based on, he using the word hedonistic life. What is hedonistic life? Primary aim of life is maximize pleasure. I feel like eating, so keep on eating. I feel like smoking, keep on smoking. Have you noticed I feel like talking on mobile? Have you noticed everybody's always with mobile? Really 24/7. First thing in the morning, I see people, children, students, they gone on an excursion. As they wake up, first thing they look at the mobile. So this is the mobile god today. No? Like your Google. So Google Guru, they call it. So instant gratification, and you think things that you get instantly will give you happiness. And this is called there are many studies have been done on this now, in which the recipe for happiness is not pleasantness, which is what we're understanding it in this way. So this dogmatic assertion, meaning bully minded, saying this is what it is, so I have to get what I want, which reminds me of an experiment, a very famous experiment. It was done in 1972 in Stanford University, and you all can Google it and see it. It's very beautiful, very fascinating watching, and it's called Marshmallow Experiment. 1972 Marshmallow Experiment. You can Google it. It's fantastic. So here, Walter Mischel is the scientist. He did this experiment. He called 4-year-old boys and girls. He put them, about 24, 25 of them, in one room. Nothing else. Only one small table like this in which the girl or the boy is sitting. And now he comes in and he says, I'm going to give you this. Can you see the marshmallow? Very tasty, good, beautiful smelling marshmallow. He said, I'm going to put one on each one of your plate. Don't eat it now. I'm going to go away from this room for 15 minutes. Very famous marshmallow experiment. He said, if you don't eat for 15 minutes, I'm going to come back and give you 2. If you have not eaten it, if you have eaten it, you get only 1. Now, boys and girls, do you want 2 or do you want 1? How many of you want 2? Everybody's hand went up. He said, okay, you have to show your control. 15 minutes. I'm not going to be there. and lock up the door and go outside. And it was video film. Very famous experiment. You watch it, it's amazing. And you'll be surprised, 1 out of 3 managed to stay. And they're showing the girl, let's say the girl is looking at it, picking it up, smelling it, puts it in her tongue, tastes it, puts it back. Somebody is looking at it, it's going in. Somebody is doing like this. Somebody is going away. Somebody is wanting to stand up and jump but don't want to eat it. And 2 out of 3 ate it. And when he came back after 15 minutes, those who had not ate, he gave them 2. Now, this is called longitude experiment, meaning it's for a long term. He kept a track on these boys and girls. When they were 15, 18, 20, 24, he found those children who learned to control, learn not to gratify their senses but hold on to it for a better life. They did brilliantly well. He found academics, sports, in spiritual world, in various skill development. They found these children who could control when they were 4 or 5 year old, they're doing much better in life. And they go to church. You know, this is the American scenario, Stanford. And they're very, very spiritual. But normal boys and girls, young boys and girls. But they go to church. They have a Sunday church. They will go to church. Meaning that kind of a development just by that one control. Which proved to them, Walter Mischel is his name. Okay? So the majority, that means about 66% of that lot, they ate. You'll be surprised, 2019-2020, a study of 348 million Americans, they carried out a study and they find that 1 out of every 10 Americans are suffering from mental depression, unhappiness, committing suicide and things like that. You'll be amazed to hear that in India, becoming modern, no? Everybody wants to be cool American and British. You'll be amazed to hear 15-year-old in 1917, 2017. You'll be amazed to hear 25,000 youth between 15 and 18 committed suicide. Why? Because they said, we don't know how to control our mind. Unhappy. There's a girl who was an anchor in Hyderabad television. Supposed to be very good. She jumped off from the rooftop of some 14th floor building and written down a script. Nobody is responsible for my death. I am taking my own life. I don't know how to deal with my mind. So what is happening is this mind is the one which is controlled. And this mind is we do not know. What are we doing here? Learning how to control that mind and the intellect and the ego and the feelings. This is what is our automatically. So what is it? Who are we? Who am I? I'm this body, I'm this mind, I'm this intellect, I'm this memory, I'm this ego. There's a fourth thing. Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. This is Shankaracharya's very famous statement. 1400 years ago, he's written it down. We don't know how to control that. And this is the journey which ancient time, and India it is much less, but it is still catching up today. Anna did an experiment, 3 of them actually. Very interesting. It is much talked about. Anna called it Dopamine Nation. Whole America. Her book is written. Anna's book is called Dopamine Nation. What is dopamine? Dopamine is something which can be noticed by EEG. If you do, let's say you want to eat cake or a chocolate, if you get it, a dopamine secretion happens inside in your brain, which makes you feel very happy and very good. It will certainly spike up. It is secreted from within, but it happens when it is that gratification takes place. And it's a very famous, they call it feel-good chemical. So what experiment did she do? She did the experiment with the rodents and the rats, the mice. So in which, what did she do? She put in a cage, mices, and they put a small kind of a, the seesaw, like a spring. If the rat goes and presses it with its foot, it will immediately give him a dopamine shot and makes it feel good. And they found, this is first part of the experiment, that the rat will carry on pressing it, carry on pressing it, carry on pressing it, and keep on getting shot. This is called addiction. These are the addictions now. So this is how that wild bear in the flood water, which we talked about just now. He thought it's a rug, but it was a wild bear being taken down in the flood system. And it keep on pressing it, and then it will neglect its food. It will not eat its food. The rat only wants that dopamine. And what she did, Anna, she let that rat be off the cage, free now. She found that the rat, if it doesn't find the dopamine, it will not eat food, it will not drink water, and it will die. Meaning, this is how the powerful of that addiction, dopamine, and they call it feel-good chemical. Feel-good chemical. That's the name they have given. Now what they did, another one. Another part of the cage, she put that liver on top of a very mild charged electric shock. And on top of that, if the rat goes and touches that wire, it is going to get a shock. And it's very painful for the rat. But the rat now from the previous knows that liver. So it will go over that and go and press the liver. It is getting that electric shock, not getting electrocuted, but it's a bad shock. But it is still tolerating the shock and pressing the liver. Meaning, even though it is like this, reminds me of that story of the camel and eating the thorny bush. It's lacerating its own mouth, it's bleeding away, it's the dog with the bone. Eating what? The bone. What is there in the bone? Nothing. But the sharp edge of the bone is cutting its own mouth and it's bleeding away. It is drinking its own blood and it's saying, "Oh, beautiful bone." What are the people craving for? Instant abuse of substance. They want something to give them a kick. And this is called drug. This is called smoking. This is called drinking. This is called, abuses. Or even sweet. Have you noticed? Today if you go for shopping, you can't stop shopping. You carry on shopping. You start talking, you can't stop talking. Carry on talking. Whatever it is, you feel like doing again and again and again and again. And this is what is the talking about, in which different kinds of addictions and different kind of substances, whether it is heroin or cocaine or alcohol or cigarette or so on, or meeting people, relationship, some people go on and on and on. So these are called behavioral addictions, which is taking away the sense of happiness. So this is what is the intention, that happiness is eluding in the modern technology. Though technology gives you everything, it is designed to make you get addicted. You know what they're doing today? They call it all this Instagram, YouTube. I was amazed yesterday in my mobile. Suddenly I found a funny window. I said, "What is this?" So I took a picture and sent it to my IT specialist. I said, please tell me, what is it? It says how many from the time that I logged into YouTube, how many sites I have visited, which are those sites, and how many times I have seen them. And I look at all these spiritual things there all the time. It is telling which are the sites, and it says that if you click this, 18 to 20 more such sites are waiting for you. So what does it want? It wants me to go down there and keep on and see the ads and things like that. And they call it algorithm. The IT guys have come out with sophisticated algorithms for giving us exactly what we want, whenever we want it, however number of times we want it. And yet, we are not happy. Are you with me? This happiness is not that mean, despite the modern technology. It is designed today to make us guinea pigs, make us like rat. So we click on the video and you can keep on watching it. And no time to... How many people do you know today who says I can't sleep? Why? Because I have not written anything today. Writing is gone on. How many people do you know today who says I don't feel like sleeping? Why? I did not read anything today. I must read something. The reading, writing, arithmetic, we call it 3R, has gone away. And the fourth and the fifth, research, responsibility of your own learning. Research and responsibility of your own learning, helping your intellectual thing. It is now, we are wanting to do quick thing, everything through the quick method. So, this dopamine addiction, cycle of addiction, instant gratification is, as per the Western philosophers, scientists, is instant reason for unhappiness. So all this thing, whatever I talked about for last almost now 2 hours, it is instant unhappiness. Is why? Instant gratification of senses. And that itself, what is Vedanta talking about? Same thing. Thousands of years ago, said, there is one Yayada, a great king, Vedanta time. And king, no shortage of money, and he had 3 sons. Yayadi, name like that. And he called 3 sons. And he said, listen, now my body has become old. I'm going to die. But I don't want to die. And he had the power, he had learned it from his guru, that if any one of you agree because of your love for me and respect for me, give me your body, then I can continue to live. And as per the story, he went on to live for 1,000 years and then he became a monk. And at the end of his life, he's saying that desires can never be fulfilled. He went on to do that and he went on to live for 1,000 years. He said it can never be fulfilled. It is like you put ghee into fire. That is, desire is the fire, the flame. You put ghee in it, meaning you want to give whatever it is wanting. It will continue to raging torrent. It never quenches the thirst. So this is called direct dopamine hit. Lucia introduced another, that grid between the lever of electricity and dopamine reward will come if you are ready to get electrocuted. The rat decided to get electrocuted too, not dying, getting a bad shock, but still for the dopamine shot. And this is what people are doing today. And whether it is drugs or alcohol or drink or whatever it is, they're going ahead. So, instant gratification, sacrificing long-term welfare for immediate satisfaction. So, what is it? There's a beautiful statement here three gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas. So sattva gunas are talking about tranquil, calm, humble, beneficiary, selfless, giving things, loving, caring for people, and compassionate, devotional, spiritual. These are sattva qualities. And then comes rajas. Rajas has got bad temper, restless, ADHD children, and they're hyperactive, full of desires, addictions, ambitions, and bad temper. They're rajas. And tamas, lazy, lethargic, not wanting to get up from the bed, carrying on sleeping, tends to make procrastination. I'll do it later. You have to do something, you have to write something, read something. I'll study later. You keep on, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. As you know, you've heard it. So sleep a little more, refusing to wanting to get out of the bed. So Bhagavad Gita defines these happinesses. It says rajasic. It says nothing else, but the rajasic is nothing else but the five senses gratification. Sensual gratification is rajasic. And Krishna describes sense pleasure as nectar in Bhagavad Gita and later equates it to poison. It says in the rajasic and tamasic, when you sip that whatever activity, it gives you sweet nectar, and at the end it's a poison. This is what Bhagavad Gita is talking about. End of it, it is a poison. And in the sattvic, initially it is bitter. It is difficult to do. Sitting on meditation is difficult. Can't sit. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you have to jump up and get up. But if you sit, initially bitter, but in the long run it gives you tremendous sense of happiness, joy, and you feel suddenly you have complete thing under your control. You don't have to keep on be so frisky and moving around. Sri Aurobindo, a great master, Paramahansa Ramakrishna Vivekananda's time, he's saying, Pondicherry, those of you who've heard of him, this joy is like nectar at first touch, but harbors a hidden poison at the bottom of the cup. Poison manifests as disappointment, fatigue, disgust, and ultimately impermanent. Anityam, anityam, anityam. It's never permanent. Regardless of us, this initial bliss, all forms of instant gratification share the common, that is impermanence. It is not permanent. So, transience leads to crashing, downfall, illustrating why senses, pleasures are considered poison in the end. So remember this, keep it in your Vedic scriptures and Bhagavad Purana. A colorful story unfolds such kind of thing. Purana is rich with such tales and extraordinary. His name is Yayati. It's correct. I told you, and he goes on ultimately experiencing that satiety leads to disgust, sin, suffering. He is what is written down a book after that. The king Yayati became a monk. Transient described. Yati's journey leads him to sagehood and wisdom, culminating in the profound realization that desire is never satisfied through indulgence, but sacrifice does. If you sacrifice, like now, go into that experiment done with the 4-year-old, that if you don't eat one, hold on for 15 minutes, you will get 2. Meaning, control will give you a better life ahead. So, Krishna is saying the same thing in chapter 3. Arjuna asks the most poignant question. He is saying, what is in it that even when I want to be good, I want to do the right thing, what is that makes me commit sin? and that very thing that I don't want to do makes me do it? He's asking Krishna. And Krishna's answering is, it is desire for sense pleasure and anger. That I want it. I want that desire. That desire is what you need to. So when you will see, supposing you feel like having a cup of coffee, you go and have a cup of coffee or have a drink. Supposing you say, no, I don't feel like, I feel like having it, but I won't have it now. I feel like having that piece of cake or pastry or that special dish, but I won't have it now. You feel much better. You will be much more in control and command of your own self, and you feel great satisfaction, a joy within. I could do it. This is the control. What is the message that we are trying to get? Is the sense of happiness. Krishna is saying it is very important that desires and anger stem from rajasic. Keep that in mind and remember those three gunas: sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Two things. There are those two things are the enemy, rajasic and tamasic. It will go stronger and stronger and demand more and more and more and never to be satisfied. So, insights of positive psychology, neuroscience and Vedanta, especially like Bhagavad Gita, why a life based on maximizing pleasure and various forms of instant gratification is ultimately a recipe for unhappiness. Our talk today is on happiness. So what is it? The opposite of you have to, that instead of gratification, instant gratification, control. Control the desire. Control the tamasic nature. I want to sleep a little more. I will do it later. It's okay, it's alright, let me do it. Let me eat it a little more. Let me talk a little more. And notice, let me shop a little more. It will not give you good feeling later on. You've done the shopping, but still it gives you good. Whereas, it came to you, you have the money to buy it, but you don't feel like, do I really need it? Understanding. So what is sattvic? First is, especially sattvic parenting, sattvic teaching, sattvic being a colleague, a friend, a partner, is to find out the strength in that person, whoever you are leading, including your own self. No, this is what is my strength. And if I do this, my strength increases, becomes better. I need to do that more. It is painful now. I don't feel like I have to, my God, I have to stay awake a little more. Or I have to wake up a little early in the morning. I have to do that more. But if you do that, it will give you long-term happiness and a good life. So identify your signature strength. Call it signature strength. You're special. Like your signature, that's your strength. And your strength is never like the other person. It is different for you. So find a vocation, line of work, calling that helps you cultivate those signature strengths. And daily basis, regular basis, practice it. Learning to be still. Have you noticed? Over here we are about hour and a half sitting. How many times did you feel like I have to move? Can't sit still. Whereas if you practice being still, sitting still, you'll be surprised. From inside within you, something will happen. And you will not feel like moving. Initially, something will say, knees paining. I think I should remove my leg. Say, no, I'm not going to move it. And soon, you'll be surprised that bad feeling in the knee or I can't sit on the floor will go away. And you say, my God, I could. My doctor told me that if you sit on the floor, you'll be bedridden for life. I had some bad injury in an aircraft crash. I said, I can't do that. I have to sit on the floor. He said, then it is your funeral. I said, okay. He didn't use the word funeral. He said, he's a good friend of mine. Today, my knee problem is cured just because I sit on the floor. So, understand, this inside of it, this is Western science is not talking about, ancient India talking about today. So, that is, you say, on regular basis, does not sound that very complicated. It is true, but it requires courage, it requires honesty, to be yourself. Bhagavad Gita teaching on Swadharma, your own. There is something which is your own dharma, which is you only know. You only know what is good. And good parent, good partner also knows that yes, this is good for you. So your own law of being, I want to be like that. You make your own law. Don't violate it. I'm not going to jump the traffic light. People are maybe blowing horn, but there is red light on. How can I cross? I can't. You can move forward a little bit. You want to go from behind, go ahead. So, clarification on how the original caste systems in Bhagavad Gita differs from the hereditary caste system which you find is nothing else but the Swadharma and Guna. In the ancient India, Hinduism is not casteism, but Krishna has written it down in Bhagavad Gita. It based on what is your Swadharma and what is your Guna. Let's say you love to be a warrior, so you become a king or prince or a Kshatriya. Supposing your dharma is to do seva, I like to help people. You'll be surprised. You're born as Shudra. Why? Shudras do seva, no? Everybody wiping, sweeping, washing. Who are they? They're the lower caste people. So this is how the caste system was created in ancient India. Not because of you are untouchable, so you're Shudra. Which became by the Pandits, the Brahmins created it later on. It is not wrong, it went on. Western world took that as the thing. It is not that. It is those who are supposed to be spiritual and sattvic, totally they're supposed to become the Brahmin Pandit. Those who are supposed to be warrior, to fight for the kingdom and protect the people, they are the Kshatriya. And like that, the business people. And so, challenging manageable tasks contributes to satisfaction and growth in individual in all social level, particularly, remember, challenging and manageable tasks. Doing it makes you happier. Achieving true happiness is through entering a flow state. It's a Western theory called flow, getting into a flow. When you get into that flow, you automatically feel like doing it. You can't stop doing it. You feel like doing it. And this is called instant gratification, sensual pleasure. This is called delayed gratification as per the Western positive psychology. So I'm combining the two, Western as well as the Vedanta, etc. The delayed gratification, if you wait for the marshmallow, don't eat the first one for 15 minutes, you will get two. This is the delayed gratification. When you take the sip, it may be bitter, it may be trying, it may be painful to do that yoga exercise. But if you do it, then you will see your aging process slows down, your sickness goes away, and things like that. So, positive psychology can learn from Karma Yoga by analyzing these motives behind the actions of the true fulfillment. So, turning karma into Karma Yoga by analyzing motives and offering work for that sense of divinity gives you genuine happiness. Meaning, I'm not working because I will get it, I will earn it, I will have that fun, I will get it for myself, for my family or people. I'm doing it because it will help you. Who's you? Everybody other than you. Once you do it for others, and that is called seva. So, a meaningful life is the Seligman defined. The first is, remember, pleasant life. Second is good life. Third is meaningful life. In the meaningful life, your life is particularly living for a higher purpose than immediate gain. And that is the longer goal. I have to keep on doing it. You notice, supposing you want to be a doctor. You have to study for 20 years, 24 years, 25 years, and then go on to the under training, and then only you become a doctor. But you know, you have the goal in mind. I have to become a doctor. So, higher goal, meaningful life, higher purpose will all make leading a good life meaningful foundation to high purpose, and cannot be the sole focus of a spiritually fulfilling, automatically leads to a higher life. Different forms of happiness. Body will say, oh, not now. Mind will say, you made a resolution. I must get up in the morning. I have to go down and meditate. Alarm bell ring. So your intellect is saying, come on, get up, Mr. Robbin Ghosh. Alarm bell is ringing. Go sit down for meditation. Body is saying, you didn't talk to me. You didn't ask me. And mind is saying, yes, yes, body, go to sleep. I am not ready to go. So mind and body is against the intellect. Intellect is who? That is the chit. Which is telling, go. The others are saying, sorry. It's like a wild elephant. What do? Wild elephant. You have to train the elephant. Train the elephant, specific time, every day, without a break, the same place, same spot, practice. When you do that, you will soon see, you can't stay sleeping. Something will happen. It used to happen to me long ago. At that particular time, no calling bell. In my head, I used to get conscious. You know the Shankh Dhani, Mandir bell, dong 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 dong. You can't sleep. It used to sing in my head. I used to get up 2:30, 3 o'clock. Nobody else can hear it. You will hear it. Today, doing the exercises and meditation, you will hear this. This is called anahat. This is ahat sound. If you strike something against something, called ahat. Anahat. It is pranabadhvani. It is continuously on. Right now it is on. But you have to purify yourself a little bit with the practice. Nothing very great. Thousands are doing it. Millions are doing it. Particularly in India and all over the world. You can also do it. So basically, that body-mind cycle complex, you have to break it to say, Mano Buddhi Chitta Ahankar Na Aham. I am not the spine, not the body, not the memory, not the ego. I am not that. Chidananda Rupoham Shivoham Shivoham. Break that cycle. I am that infinite. He said, me, Shiva, yeah. Who's telling? Mind. Mind will try to put you down. He says, shut up, Mr. Mind. So, instant gratification leads to stronger identification with the body-mind. What is gratified? The body and the mind. I feel like doing it. I feel like eating it. I feel like enjoying it. Body, mind, instant gratification is your sensual pleasure. And to break the cycle, cultivate that swadharma, sattvika forms of joy, identify with the deeper soul, which is called delayed gratification. So sattvika form of happiness can be experienced through activities like listening to sattvika music, talk, watching sattvika films, sattvika, press of a button, you can listen to YouTube today of enormous. You can also hear funny thing, you can also hear good thing. So despite the initial, this is called honeymoon period in spiritual practice, called instant gratification. After that, it becomes divorce, persisting through challenges, ultimately leading to, when you are not, which is this? Ishvara, God is everywhere. You say, no, God is in everywhere, in everything. Where is this God? This is the consciousness without which you cannot see, do, touch, eat, anything. Can you do anything if you are not conscious? If you are in coma, you can't do anything. What is this consciousness? As per Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. That consciousness itself is Brahman, Ishvara. And which is your Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. You keep hearing it, no? Sat Chit Ananda. So once you get aligned to it and know it, just in what is the Jnana Yoga that we are doing, along with Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, we combine all of them. What is the Jnana Yoga? You have to know it. I am not this, I am not the body, not the mind. I am that light within. We'll do the meditation on that for those of you. So, Achieving happiness is aligning with the true spiritual nature of who am I. I am the light. I'm not the senses, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not my ego, I'm not my memory. What are we doing? We are operating with the memory. We have fantastic memory, but we are remembering all the sad thing, bad thing, and having terrible experience. What experience is present? Memory is past. Remembering sad thing, bad thing. The moment you look at Robbin Ghosh, oh, this is the guy who made this problem for me, made me listen for 2 hours. So, the moment you look at Robbin Ghosh, oh my God, he's going to start talking again. So, sad memory, bad memory. Present is irritation, experience. Remember good things from the memory. Erase the bad thing. And remember the good thing. What is experience now? Present is pleasant. Happiness, joy, elevation of soul. And now with that, imagination, future. Create. 100 out of 100. Visualize. Create. Create by how? Just by visualizing. Hey, Wright brothers learned to fly how? They created we are going to fly, including his own father. Everybody disbelieved him. People didn't believe. How can you fly? God has not given you wings and feathers. This is a statement of his own father. It is there in London Museum. But Wright brothers flew. Today for flying as you and me is a piece of cake. So, once you visualize it, hold on to that, and millions of people, thousands of them have done it over here. So aligning with the true spiritual nature, achieving it, and identify your guna and align it with the strength, analyzing behind every action. Remove the ego and the self-satisfaction, but do the delayed gratification. I know it will make me feel good later. I know it. Why? Veda says so. I believe in that statement of the ancient rishis and the masters. So, balancing this ego and the emotion for success, importance of ego and ambition in achieving success, and considering the mix of science and happiness, that is that positive psychology, Vedanta, knowing automatically the delayed gratification. Don't fall for the instant gratification. One more Golgappa. Thank you, I have had enough.